Hey guys, welcome to our video projects. Culture isn't something we read in textbooks. It's alive, it's constantly moving, and it defines who we are.
Today, we are going to explore the concepts of cultural adaptation, change, and perspectives by diving deep into the beautiful municipality of Lubuagan in Kalinga.
According to our module, we acquire culture through imitation, indoctrination, and conditioning.
Modes of acquiring culture. Number 1 is imitation. Children and adults alike have the tendency to imitate the values, attitudes, language, and all other things in their social environment.
Culture starts with the eyes and hands. Imitation is the informal process where younger generations in Lubuagan learn by simply observing and copying the actions of adults.
Some of those things imitated are internalized in their personality and became a part of their attitude, character, and other behavioral patterns.
While imitation handles the action, indoctrination shapes the mind. This is the deliberate, structured teaching of core values, beliefs, and societal laws. In Lubuagan, this happens when elders explicitly pass down ancestral knowledge, such as the strict laws of the Bodong.
This may take the form of formal training or informal teaching. Formally, the person learns from school. Informally, he may acquire those behaviors from listening or watching, reading, attending, training activities, or through interaction. Lastly, number 3, conditioning. The values, beliefs, and attitudes of other people are acquired through conditioning. This conditioning can be reinforced through reward and punishment.
In Lubuagan, when a young person actively participates in community rituals and receives praise, appreciation, and sense of belonging, they are being positively conditioned to keep those traditions alive.
Adaptation of culture. Number 1. Parallelism means that the same culture may take place in 2 or more different places. Example, the domestication of rice happened in different parts of Asia, such as in China and Southeast Asia. Parallelism simply means the same culture may develop or exist in different places. Number 2. Diffusion refers to those behavioral patterns that pass back and forth from one culture to another. This is the transfer or spread of culture traits from one another brought about by chance, agents such as people or media. Example, Koreans' love for K-pop has spread to many countries including the Philippines. In simple terms, diffusion is the spread of cultural traits from one culture to another. Number 3. Convergence takes place when 2 or more cultures are fused or merged into one culture, making it different from the original culture. Example, Filipino cuisine combines indigenous, Spanish, Chinese, and American influences. Just remember, convergence is the combination of 2 or more cultures to form a new culture. Number 4. Fission. Fission takes place when people break away from their original culture and starts developing a new, different culture of their own. Example, migrants who settle in another country may create a cultural identity that differs from both their original and new cultures. In simple terms, fission is when a group separates from its original culture and develop a new one. Number 5. Acculturation. Acculturation refers to the process wherein individuals incorporate the behavioral patterns of other cultures into their own, either voluntarily or by force. Voluntary acculturation occurs through imitation, borrowing, or personal contact with other people. Example, Filipino using chopsticks when eating Asian cuisine while still maintaining Filipino traditions. In simple terms, acculturation is when people adopt same traits of another culture while keeping their own traditions. Number 6. Assimilation. Assimilation occurs when the culture of a larger society is adopted by a smaller society. That smaller society assumes some of the culture of a larger society or cost society. Example, immigrants learning the language and adopting the customs of the country they move to. In simple terms, assimilation is when a smaller group adopts the culture of a larger group. Lastly, number 7, accommodation. Accommodation occurs when the larger society and smaller society are able to respect and tolerate each other's culture, even if there is already a prolonged contact of each other's culture. Example, people of different religions living peacefully in the same community and respecting each other's beliefs. In simple terms, accommodation is when different cultures coexist and respect each other's differences.
Culture is never static. It reminds us that cultural change is driven by discovery, invention, and colonization.
In history, the introduction of schools during the American regime is a prime example of enculturation, the deliberate infusion of a new culture. Discovery is the process of finding a new place or an object, artifact, or anything that previously existed.
Discovery, the documentation of ancient burial sites, traditional houses, and old Kalinga customs in Lubwagan help the community understand and preserve its cultural heritage.
Invention implies a creative mental process of devising, creating, and producing something new, novel, or original, and also the utilization and combination of previously known elements to produce that an original or novel product. It could be either social or material, or it could also be invention of new methods or techniques.
Invention. The use of smartphones, digital cameras, and social media allows residents to record traditional dances, weaving, and community festivals, making it easier to preserve and share Lubwagan's culture.
Diffusion is the spread of cultural traits or social practices from a society or group to another belonging to the same society or to another through direct contact with each other and exposure to new forms. It involves the following social processes. First is we have acculturation, which means cultural borrowing or cultural imitation. Example,
Students in Lubwagan learn Filipino and English in school while continuing to practice Kalinga traditions.
next is we have assimilation, the blending or fusion of two distinct cultures through long periods of interaction. For example,
Families from other provinces who settle in Lubwagan gradually adopt local customs, such as joining community celebrations and learning the local language.
amalgamation, the biological or hereditary fusion of members of different societies. For example,
Marriage between an Ilubwagan and someone from another ethnic group blends traditions from both families.
lastly is we have enculturation, the deliberate infusion of a new culture to another.
Rebellion and revolutionary movements. Community efforts to protect Lubwagan's cultural heritage and ancestral lands have strengthened pride in traditional customs and encouraged younger generations to preserve their culture.
Colonization refers to the political, social, and political policy of establishing a colony which would be subject to the rule or governance of the colonizing state. For example,
Colonization. During the American period, schools were established in Lubwagan, introducing the English language and Western-style education, which influenced local culture while many Kalinga traditions remain.
rebellion and revolutionary movements aims to change the whole social order and replace the leadership, to challenge the existing folkways and norms, and propose a new scheme of norms, values, and organization. For example,
Today, Changes happen through modern diffusion. Look at Lubuagan famous textiles, while weaving technique is ancient. The introduction of modern synthetic threads and online marketplaces is a form of culture change that helps the community thrive economically.
Finally, it highlights the difference between ideal culture, the culture society mandates, and the real culture. What actually happens? Ideally, everyone wants ancient tradition to stay 100% untouched.
But in reality, youth in Lubuagan experience culture lag or culture shock as they balance smartphones and internet access with maintaining their indigenous identity. The dynamic evolution is what we call culture change.
Cultural diversity refers the differentiation of culture all over the world, which means there is no right or wrong, but there is appropriate culture for the needs of a specific group of people.
Cultural diversity. In Lubuagan, Kalinga, people live alongside migrants from other provinces, each with their own languages, traditions, and beliefs, while respecting one another's cultures.
Subculture refers to a smaller group within a larger culture.
Subculture. The youth in Lubuagan have their own subculture, such as using social media, following current fashion trends, and listening to modern music while still participating in traditional Kalinga activities.
Counterculture refers cultural patterns that strongly oppose those widely accepted within a society. Example, in the 1960s, counterculture among teenagers reflect long hair, blue jeans, peace sign, rock and roll music, and drug abuse.
Counterculture. Some young people in Lubuagan choose not to follow certain traditional customs, preferring modern lifestyles and beliefs that differ from those of older generations.
Culture lag is experienced when some part of the society do not change as fast as with other parts and they are left behind.
Culture lag. While many people in Lubuagan use smartphones and the internet, some elders still prefer traditional ways of communication, showing that technology has changed faster than some cultural practices.
Culture shock is the inability to read meaning in one's surroundings, feeling of loss and isolation, unsure to act as a consequence of being outside the symbolic web of culture that binds others.
Culture shock. A visitor from Manila may feel culture shock when staying in Lubuagan because of differences in language, food, customs, and the quiet rural lifestyle.
Ideal culture. This refers to the social patterns mandated by cultural values and norms.
Ideal culture. The people of Lubuagan value respect for elders, cooperation, and preserving Kalinga tradition as ideals that everyone should follow.
Real culture refers to the actual patterns that only approximate cultural expectations.
Real culture. Although respect for tradition is encouraged, not everyone in Lubuagan always practices all traditional costumes because of changing lifestyle and outside influences.
High culture refers to the cultural patterns that distinguish a society's elite.
High culture. Traditional Kalinga weaving, gong music, chants, and cultural performances during special events are examples of high culture in Lubuagan.
Popular culture refers to the culture patterns that are widespread among a society's population.
Popular culture.
watching online videos using Facebook and TikTok, playing online games, and listening to popular Filipino music are examples of popular culture among the youth in Lugwagan.
Culture change is the manner by which culture evolves.
Culture change, the increasing use of technology, modern education, and tourism has influenced the way people in Lugwagan live, while many traditional Kalinga costumes continue to be preserved.